of key people. A fresh look inside business every Tuesday and Thursday Central, live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm Cory Myers from Lubbock Consulting.
And I'm Robb from Robb Technology Group.
And today we've got special guest Brett Water from Conceptos De Moda. I'm super Texan and super American.
You said it right.
Okay. Well, welcome, Brett.
Thank you.
Today we're sponsored by really cool folks at All Flowered Up 2. If you're in Lubbock and you need flowers, you know what to do. Call or click All Flowered Up 2. All Flowered Up 2 is it's TOO.com. So allfloweredup2.com. 806-993-0078. You can find links in the description to our sponsor. So thanks to those guys. So let's get started, Brett. We met at a Master Networks event, and I thought you guys had a really cool kind of shift story well before the COVID-19 thing. So we'll get into that later. I definitely wanted to kind of get you on the show and have you tell a little bit about the business, how you guys got started, what's your why are you doing it? Just so take it away.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having us. So we have a kind of interesting start as well, besides the pivots that we've had to do so far. So we started the business and we were looking for a location, and we had found one company that had a model that was similar to what we wanted to do, but it wasn't the same thing. So we had decided that we wanted to be close to that business. Now we came back one more time to check out to see what was going on with that business, and that business had a notice from the IRS on it, and it had been foreclosed on. So we were able to take over the business and clean everything out. So I have a ton of closeout flooring, which has been great to start off the business, to get some capital in here for us. But we also stock products. So we stock about 50 products. They are all the best selling color lines from the manufacturers that we order. We only order from the top selling manufacturers in the United States. So we carry Engineered Floors, Mohawk, Happy Feet, and a couple other big brands. For our contractors, our real estate investors, etc., we make samples. That makes it easy for them to make decisions. So some of the samples are actually behind me, but I have one that's right here. So it has our products, it has the colors that we stock, which again, it's all the top selling colors. So gray is super in right now, so you can see grays on the front. But not only that, on the back of those samples, it has all the information about the product. So you know exactly how many square feet comes in a carton, how many pieces, manufacturer warranty information, everything is on there to make it easy for if a subcontractor is trying to make a sale. It makes it easy for them. It makes it easy for the real estate investor to purchase product from us, because all the information's right here. If they decide they want to do brown in a house, they know that we have it in stock. Now, as far as pivoting, we had a couple of weird events. So we have a pandemic now, but before that, we are off of 35 and Walnut Hill, and that is where the tornado hit in Dallas in October. So that was during the Cowboys game, if anyone remembers. I was personally watching the game and was not paying attention to the tornado, so I found out about it afterwards. And it did go right down Walnut Hill where we were located. Our street was closed down for a week by FEMA. We were hit a little bit, not as hard as other companies in the area. Our sign was torn down, so the sign that says that we have flooring was gone, which makes it difficult to sell flooring if no one knows we're here. We were also very new, so we probably open full-time hours is going to be August, and this tornado hit in October. So we had picked up some momentum, and we were selling, and we were getting really excited, and we got hit by the tornado. And so we have pivoted from that and started to pick up the momentum, and we were excited for the summer months. As everyone knows, that's when moving time is happening. Typically renovations in homes is happening as well. So we had brought in a ton of inventory and the pandemic hit. And so we are considered an essential business because we sell to contractors and it is new construction. However, people are at home. They can't leave their homes. They're scared to leave their homes. I don't know that they know that we're open right now. So I would say our biggest obstacle right now is just making sure people know that we are open. We are doing whatever we can to make sure that our customers are safe. We are in Dallas County, so you are required to wear a mask when you walk into a business. But we do provide masks for all of our customers. So we have masks for customers. Our customers will ask if they can take an additional mask, which we're always okay with. We want our customers to be safe. And of course, we have the hand sanitation stations as well, so that our consumers do feel safe when they walk into our building. We don't ever allow more than 10 people in at a time either. We're a small business. There's only 2 people who are in the office at a time. So it would be highly unlikely that we would actually ever have 10 people in here. But we've moved all of our credit card equipment. Everything is outside in the warehouse and we have a fan blowing. So if there are germs going around, we're blowing it back outside. I think that's kind of it. Do you guys have any questions about the business?
Yeah. So what made you want to get into the flooring business? I mean, I know, it's a kind of a family venture, right? So you guys tell the audience about what kind of things were going on, to lead you up to this point.
Yes, of course. So the business is my father's. He has over 20 years manufacturing experience. So we are getting great pricing. So we're able to extend that to the customer. This is a business model that was similar to something that he had previously done, but it's not done in Dallas, Texas. So that's why the company started. I have about 11 years flooring experience. I've worked for Dow Tile Flooring Services and Superior Floors. So a little bit of everything. I've been on the manufacturing side. I've been on the home builder side. And then I've also been on the multifamily side. Our operations manager's name is Hector Bonatello. He has been the installation manager for 54. He has access to over 200 installers. He's extremely knowledgeable about installation, which is not something that I know a lot about. And so we're able to bounce off of one another. As far as my family, my entire family is from Dalton, Georgia, which is the carpet capital of the world. So it's not just myself and my dad that's involved in the flooring industry. My sister was in the flooring industry. My uncle is in the flooring industry. I have a ton of family that is in the flooring industry. And so we have a ton of contacts. So it's been nice to be able to talk about the flooring. It's been nice to have our family be able to come out and see what we've built. And excited to have some partnerships with our family in the business as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, I grew up in the flooring business. My grandfather owned Myers Carpet in Lubbock. And so that was a definite immediate kind of spark. We had that common interest, right? And then my father owned Myers Carpet here in Lubbock as well. And so I grew up actually doing the installation with, as a helper and things like that. And so now I'm kind of scarred. I can't walk into a place and see flooring the same because I'm like, oh, I can see the seam. That guy didn't really do a good job or whatever. Yes. So it's kind of interesting to have that background, and everything is kind of revolving around flooring, carpet, and things like that. And so, and then you drive down the street, any neighborhood, you're like, oh yeah, we did that building or we did that house or things like that. So, and even if I didn't, my dad, if I'm driving with my dad, he's like, oh yeah, we did that church in Seminole, Texas or whatever it was. So, it really is an interesting, kind of business because every building has some type of flooring, tile, carpet, wood, laminate, something in there that, hopefully over time, your business will have touched so many buildings and so many things like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that because since the tornado did happen close to here, we have done a lot of churches in the area. So we have a lot of churches that are coming in to get their commercial carpet. I would say that's probably been our biggest clientele from the tornado. So being able to help those churches and getting them carpet at a low price has been awesome. We also had some closeout carpet, and so we were able to get churches the closeout carpet as well, so they're able to find a good deal if they needed it. And then our commercial carpet is already so inexpensive, and it's a great product. So it's nice to have, know that we're in churches and that we're actually helping something that's so important to so many people right now, which is the church.
Absolutely.
Now, does your typical client, are they more, how much does it matter whether or not you have a product in stock is I guess what I'm trying to figure out. Because I know you have a pretty big warehouse, don't you?
Yes, sir.
I mean, do you have, is most of your clients like, hey, I know I want this, I don't care if it's in stock or not, or are most of your clients more of a, hey, what do you have in stock? What do you typically see?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Our business model, we're kind of able to cater to any kind of customer. Usually in a construction situation, during an emergency, because it's the last thing to go in, and so they typically need it pretty fast. So it's nice that we do have it in stock, and we do stock entry level to 40-ounce carpet. So we have something for everybody.
What is 40-ounce carpet?
40 ounces like your nicer, I think someone must have wrote it on Pinterest that white 40-ounce carpet is like the fan showroom. And so you can special order anything as well. And at this time, because business is down for everybody because of what's going on, I'm actually able to get the carpet quicker than normal.
Wow.
So it'd probably take, 4 to 5 days for me to get it in now, whereas before it'd be 5 to 7 days. So it doesn't take a long time for me to get it in if somebody does want something special ordered, but we do have a large showroom where people can, if they have something that they want a special order. And again, those are all at wholesale prices as well. So we have that marked down to the least expensive that we can offer the product. And the other cool thing about here that I didn't mention earlier is that we're very transparent. All of our prices are listed. There's no hidden fees. There's no negotiation. So if you buy 1 carton or you buy 10,000 cartons, it's going to be the same price because we have it marked down as low as we possibly can. As far as special ordering like carpet, if you were to special order 200 yards, that's when I start to get a discount, and I extend that discount to you and I let you know that up front. So whatever's listed is what the price is, but if you go over a certain amount of yards, I do get a discount, and I always let my customers know that so that they know that there's an additional discount offered for more carpet.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest things is, being able to estimate, a house versus residential, or versus commercial, excuse me. You've got residential versus commercial, and being able to estimate those jobs and not only say, okay, this is how much flooring is going in, but here are the levels of discounts. Okay, so you want to do this much, so that you're doing tile or something like that over here. Well, if you do this area in additional, commercial carpet or whatever, then you'll get a bigger discount because you've ordered that much.
Right.
So
exactly.
there's kind of a negotiation with the client as well. Is like, is this what you really want to do, or do you want to do that? And so it really is an interesting business because there is that leeway in some cases, right?
Right, exactly. And that's kind of the cool thing. So our stocking products, there's no negotiation on that because it's already marked down. But like I had a hotel owner come in and he was like, well, what if I buy a pallet? Can I have a lesser price? And I said, no, it's just already marked down as low as possible. And he said, well, that's actually kind of nice because now I don't have to buy a pallet and find a place to hold it so that I can get my discount.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a pretty good deal.
Well, what else? So tell us.
I've got a quick question. So I'm curious.
We step on each other.
What is the difference between residential and commercial carpet?
That's a great question. So it is the density of the carpet. And I don't think that you guys would actually be able to see, but I do have a sample of commercial carpet. I did have a sample of commercial carpet. Sorry, I didn't put it up because I didn't think we were talking about it. So commercial carpet, you can kind of see it has like a tighter weave on it. It's made to have traffic on it.
So it's just a little like, it's like thicker, if you want to think about it like a dog's fur kind
thinner.
of. Really?
It's actually thinner. And then you have like
it's a little bit more tightly knit.
Okay.
Yeah,
it doesn't like
what you're saying is like, instead of kind of being like this, it's like, it's really kind of tightly knit. Okay. And that way you've got,
I'll have to ship you some samples so you can see it.
There you go. Hey, that'll be the first samples we've gotten from our good friends. So
and
we're
then
still waiting on that
like
coffee.
Entry level carpet. So I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but you can tell that it's like a little bit looser than the tight knit one.
Yeah, that one that you just showed us is not what you want to put in your church foyer.
No.
Right?
So
Yeah.
most of the churches do this color actually. This black color
the
is what
darker.
I'm selling to like everybody. Yeah. And then daycare is like this color.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what I was going to say is just, with your with the tornado and everything like that kind of happened, what were some of the business moves that you guys made to kind of insulate you from that happening again or something like that, right?
And to piggyback on that, was any of your product damaged as well?
That's a good question too. So none of my product was damaged. We were extremely lucky. Our street got shut down, so we weren't able to open. What I kind of discussed with Cory is that the situation was really weird with that tornado because the first day after the tornado, the police wouldn't even let us come see our building. So I didn't even know if everything was okay or not. We weren't allowed to come over here because FEMA had shut down the street. We finally were able to come over and look at it, and thank goodness everything was okay. But we didn't have any damage to the actual material. The only thing that got damaged is we have a sign on the top of the building, and that basically like blew apart. And then our gate, we have a gate on the front, and it looks like the tornado probably hit that gate because it was bent in like this.
Wow.
So it came straight down our street is what the thought is. I wasn't here, so I don't know for sure, but it looks like it probably bounced off our gate and went and hit another gate as well. So pivoting from that, what we did, we started joining networking groups. So the first networking group that we joined is Natari, which is North Texas Association of Real Estate Investors. And I attend their training classes as well. I attend their training classes because real estate investors have a little bit different lingo. And so I want to understand that lingo when they're having a conversation with me. The next group that we joined, which we learned from Natari, is Master Networks, which is where I met Cory. So hopped on with Master Networks and have met some really great people there. And then the most recent one, and where you can kind of find us that we've been working on for a little bit, is going to be Lifestyles Unlimited. That is a real estate investor group that has about 40,000 real estate investors, and we will be live on their website in the next couple of days as one of their flooring vendors. So trying to do stuff behind the scenes is what we've been doing. And that's what we did after the tornado. Now, this time we are working on doing the mailers. We're going to see if that's something that will work. We do have in-stock products, so if there's a real retail company near us that needs carpet right away, they would be able to come over to us. So we're going to send out to retail companies, contractors, and see how that works. We are still so new, so we're trying to figure out what marketing is going to work for us. But so far, the networking has been the best thing that we can do. Real estate investors really are who we're trying to cater to with the top selling products, and them having the samples and being able to say, I want to do brown in this house, I want to do gray in this house, and having the samples and just being able to call, pay for it over the phone and send their contractor so that they can move on to the next job. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible for the real estate investor, the contractor, even if you're just an individual and you know that you want to replace the carpet in your house, the showroom's easy, you know what's in stock and you can get it right then. Or if you want a special order, something like you had said, it's going to take, 5 days to get it in, but I can get it in and you can come pick it up.
So since you kind of said you go after these commercial clients and real estate investors, do you typically like try to stock some of the certain products like just endlessly, like, hey, we're gonna keep this in stock for a long time? So if like for instance, if I say, hey, I want a porcelain 12-inch by 12-inch tile and I want to keep using the same thing in all my houses, is there products that like are they're gonna have long-term support and be in stock for a long period of time?
Yeah, that's a really great question. We actually just started selling tile the past couple of weeks, and so we do have products that would be like builder grade. So they would be the products that a real estate investor would want to use, and they're able to. We actually don't stock the tile, but what we do have on our rack is always in stock at the manufacturer, and you're able to go pick it up there. So they won't sell to the public. So you'd be able to pay for it over the phone, and instead of coming to my location, you would just go 9 minutes a different way and pick it up there, and it would always be in stock. So yes, that is an option. I just don't actually stock tile here. It's very heavy. And sometimes I am working in the warehouse by myself, and I have a hard time lifting those click cartons, which they're pretty heavy as well. So, but the in-stock products that I do have, yes, they would be in stock. Everything that we had the special made samples, so we have to have those products in stock. Even the ones that we're not seeing that are selling as well, we're still keeping those in stock even after we run out, because they are on the samples, so we can't tell our customers that we would have it in stock and then not. So like some of the browns and stuff like that, we haven't seen be moving as quick as we thought that they would. But as soon as I say it's not going to move, then we sell some, which is exactly what happened this past Saturday. So I was we're not moving this.
Hopefully just being on the podcast and you saying, well, we're not selling that, then maybe.
Yeah, well,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Brown is coming back. People like it. So
yeah, definitely. I think that there's, there is a target market, target audience for the delivery of your product, right? So you can have a flooring store that's direct to consumer again for your someone that just wants new carpet in their house, right? But for you, that target market is the Chip and Joanna Gaines, wannabes, or the people that are out there doing that and making sure that they're doing good stuff. I know we've got a couple of fantastic people in our chapter that are doing design build and interior design, and it's fantastic. So those kind of people are definitely target market there. What else would you say are your targets and long-term, short-term, as far as getting clients in the door?
Yeah, there's one other part of our business, which is the design portion of the business. We do have a designer on staff, and so a service that we offer is if you are, you have an apartment complex and you just want the colors to be matched up, you want a designer to do it, but you don't want to sit down and work with a designer, you can send her photos, and for a flat fee, she'll give you suggestions. And that goes beyond just flooring. She can help you with your cabinets, your paint color. She helps you with everything. So we do have another portion of our business that can help the real estate investor. The biggest thing is that we can cater to anybody. But who we really built the business around is going to be a real estate investor, the contractors, Cory, because you did it. These contractors work their tail off, and when they're working for these retail companies, they make the least amount of money. So building these samples so that these men can build their own businesses and make money is another big thing for us. We're trying to help these men who work so hard, men and women who work hard on the flooring, and they're making the least amount of money. It's just not fair. So we're trying to make it easy and give them the sales tools so that they can go out and sell their own jobs, and so that they can make their own money and they don't have to only get a small portion of what that install cost is.
Yeah. And just so the audience knows, I do not work hard. I've never worked hard in the flooring business. I will say that I witnessed, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Absolutely. My dad was the installer, and, I did go around and help, but, they're on their hands and knees installing these things, and they're sweating. A lot of times these houses, the electricity's not even on, so there's no air conditioning, and they're sweating, and they're just – so, yeah, it's absolutely a tough job, and they are getting paid for their labor. Basically, is a lot of times, and it ends up being that last person on the totem pole. So yeah, that's a fantastic kind of way to put things, is trying to help them out.
Definitely.
Yeah. So what else about your business, I would say, is different? What differentiates you from someone maybe, someone in a different area making a partnership to bring, the commercial type goods in versus using you? Like what differentiates you?
I think the biggest thing that we've seen, because we have partnered with a couple of other retail companies, is that these companies don't want to bring in 100 rolls of pad. They don't want to bring in, they don't have the space to hold the product like we do. So we are able to partner with those companies and hold it for them, and have it in stock, and they know that it's guaranteed and it's going to be in stock. As far as like other flooring companies that are around us, I think the biggest difference between us and them, and just from what I've seen from the clientele that's come in so far, is that they think that they have to wheel and deal, and we've marked it down as low as we possibly can, and we're upfront and we're honest, and we're not trying to take advantage of any of our customers. The price is on the wall, and that's what the price is. And It's not going to change. It's like Walmart. So that's going to be the biggest thing, is that a lot of people in this area that I am in, they think that they have to come down and they have to negotiate. And we've made it so simple. You don't have to negotiate. You don't have to guess on the price either. When you sell your customer something from Conceptos, that's what the price is going to be. Put your labor on it and make your money. And let's build businesses together. So Absolutely. That's going to be the biggest thing, is just, I think a lot of these flooring stores try to, a lot of the businesses around here pay on commission, and we don't work on commission. Hector and I work together, and it doesn't matter who makes the sale. We're just excited that we were able to help another customer, and that God blessed us with another sale. With everything that's going on right now, every single thing that we sell is a blessing, and we're excited about it. So, and learning what products are selling is the other thing. We haven't been open for a year yet. So what products do our customers really love? And, I have a customer that he calls me, and he doesn't even care what I pick out. He just says, pick out something for me, Brett. I'm sending my installer, and he flips houses, and he's like, hey, I don't have a problem with any of your selections. You always pick out what's going to look best in the house.
Heck yeah.
And so the customers being able to just call and know that we're going to take care of them, I think that's huge.
That is huge. And, you're solving two problems there, because I can get some supplies from someone, but saving that person time and effort and all that stuff, it's so valuable. And, Philip for sure does that by saving time on, anyone doing IT work in their own office. Philip is definitely coming in there and saving them time and effort by doing that for them. And, a lot of businesses, that is their sale right there, is just saving you time and effort. And I think that if you can focus on your business, helping them to save that, then that's, it doesn't matter what you sell. It's kind of arbitrary at that point. You are providing that good and service in the effort and the end result to save them time and effort. So
absolutely, cool. Time is money, and I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration. They're constantly shopping around, and hey, this is the best price and this is the best color. There's no need to go shop around. It's right here.
And this is trendy, and it's going to be good for another, several years. You're not going to, again, back to the house flippers, the Chip and Joanne Gaines kind of thing, like you're looking at things that are trendy. You're on top of it. You've got your finger on the pulse. They might not as much. They're in there working and getting their hands dirty and not really watching Pinterest or things like that, or even kind of having that awareness. So that's important as well. I mean, I know I'm not. I don't know anything that's in trendy right now, probably.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's why we have a designer, in case we don't know.
Yeah.
She can tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to mention, I really like the idea that you kind of have with your pricing. It's kind of, I've never actually been to one of the dealerships, but CarMax, they kind of do the same thing where it's like, hey, the sticker on the freaking car, that's the price you're going to pay, and you can just drive up there and they'll tell you what you're going to pay for your car or whatever it's. But more for like a flooring type store. I think that would just be really neat, because when you hire a salesman, there's no training almost. It's like, no, you see the little tag there, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think that could be really, really neat, because you could train someone up so fast you wouldn't have to sit there and go like, oh no, you priced that wrong or anything like that. I just think that may be a really, really big strength for you later down the road.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and we have it. I mean, I wish that I was fancy enough on this Zoom to be able to show you guys the showroom, but we've got it in, font 72, the size or the price, and then we even have a little arrow so they know exactly what box it goes to, because that seemed to cause a little confusion too.
Oh yeah.
Even though the pricing's there, then people want to make it go to a different square instead of where it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Do you have, and I guess the discounts, do you have the discounts on there as well, or is it just price per square foot on those?
Yeah, so we show our cash price. So there's a 3% markup on all credit card transactions, because that's just what they charge us. So the cash price is the absolute lowest price that you can get. And that's shown on all the samples of what we stock. And then, so everything that's behind me is like what we have in stock all the time. And then as far as if somebody wanted a special order something and they order over 200 yards, I have to look up the price, but I do give them a quote before they leave with that discount on there, so that they know exactly how much that they'll be spending. And I'll even do a quote with the discount and without the discount, because it may change and they don't need 200 yards anymore. And
yeah.
I don't get the discount, so I can't extend the discount out. But when I do get the discount, I will extend it to my customer. I'm not going to try to keep the money.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, do you have people buying for multiple houses, like the house flippers and things like that? Are they saying we're just going to do the same thing for all of these houses and then picking up the bigger discount because they've bought all of this flooring?
I have a couple. I have one flipper. He actually does more of the apartment complexes, like the government funded apartment complexes. And so he came in and he selected what he's going to use for all of his apartments moving forward, which is caramel calico. And then he's actually putting in like a nicer pad. So those are stocking products. So he already got the best price possible. Darian, the gentleman that actually he's texting me now for me to pick out some carpet for the house. He likes to stay with a 25-ounce product. All of our 25-ounce products are 79 cents per square foot. So he already knows what the price is going to be. Nice. I sent him a couple of samples, and he asked me which one I think will be best. And we pick out a color together, and then he sends his installer up and he grabs it. I haven't had anybody do like a special order where they had to pick up a bunch, because they usually just pick up stocking products and it's already marked down to the lowest possible price. Not to say that won't happen in the future, but I just haven't come across a situation like that quite yet.
Well, that would be an interesting thing for if I was flipping houses and I could make a deal with you and say, hey, all of this is going to be this kind of carpet, and yes, you're going to have to warehouse it for me, so we'll maybe split the difference on the discount or something like that. But over the next year, I'm going to need approximately this much carpet. We're going to do all of the same. These houses internally are going to have the same type of backsplash on the kitchen and the same faucets. The design is going to be that white with the black faucet,
yes,
and gray carpet, or something like that. So I may have checked out Pinterest or something earlier. But
what's in.
Yeah. So, you've got that person, that may be something that that might be something that you could recommend is like, hey, look, if you know how much carpet you're going to do, then let's just do that, and you don't have to change up the style every time. Now, every house is different, so you can't really just cookie cutter the inside every time. But for the most part, that would be pretty good discount, I think, right?
Yeah. If they're looking to do like a special order, if it wasn't something that we had in stock, then yeah, I mean, I think that that's big. And we do have, I've had a couple of home builders that come in and they're like, hey, I would need the situation that you're saying, basically, like, hey, I like to do the same carpet in all of my houses, but if my customers wanted to upgrade, can I send them over? And of course that they would be able to do that. So
there you go.
Luckily everyone likes our stocking products so far.
Yeah.
So your pricing model is just seems really simple, simple to deal with. Did you do that kind of in mind to like those commercial guys, like those house flippers that they're like, hey, I don't really want to think. I just want to know, like, hey, it's 80 cents a foot. I know it's a 2,000 square foot house. Bam, I know what these people are going to charge me. Is that kind of the reason you went in that direction, just to like help out those commercial people so they don't have to feel like they've got to go fight a battle every time to get a good deal on flooring?
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And a lot of these investors, when they're to the point where they're selling multiple houses, they just have a spreadsheet and it says, this is my flooring vendor and this is what I know I'm going to pay with them for carpet and pad, and they have it in a spreadsheet and they use that moving forward. So with that being said, if they know that they want to do like an entry-level carpet, then they would have the entry-level carpet sample, which would be this, and I know that this is going to be a certain price. I just have to pick a color, and then I can call Brett, I can pay for it over the phone, and then I can send my contractors. So it does make it super easy, but we also have the price sheet. We don't have our prices listed online, but we do send out pricing to our customers. And then of course, anybody who comes in, we give them a price sheet so that everything's super transparent. They know exactly how much it's going to cost. And on our price sheet, it actually has, it's right behind. It actually has the cash and the, I guess you can't really see that. It has the cash and the credit price. So they know that if they're paying for it over the phone, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it shows the price on there. So again, super transparent. You know exactly how much you're going to be paying. Or I could send my installer with cash and we get a little bit of a discount. But most people have, at this point in time, we all have airline credit cards and we want the points. So you want to use your credit card if you don't mind spending the extra 3% so that you can get the points.
Yeah, absolutely. Or cash back. In a lot of cases, these businesses they're getting more than the 3% back on the cash back on some cases. And so I think, especially that's kind of a business move to push that cash flow out when you're paying for something and bringing in and getting it done faster with that card. So it actually ends up being a better deal for them. So I want to kind of shift gears into like lessons learned over the past forever, and like what kind of things have you picked up along the way in the carpet business or in the flooring business in general or elsewhere, just in business? What kind of tips and tricks have mentors given you over the years?
I think the biggest thing, especially dealing with this pandemic, and I know it's probably cliche and everyone's saying it, but just staying positive during this time. It's not easy to stay positive when you don't know what's going to happen in the world. It's scary for everybody, but you have to stay positive and know that everything's going to be okay. And you have to be persistent. So as much as some of us would love to give up, on especially now when it feels so hard, you have to be persistent and stick with what you're doing. The companies that I've worked for previously in the flooring industry have all flourished and been super successful. So I know that that we can make this an extremely successful business. And the biggest thing is that we're trying to help people. Of course, it's a business and we want to make money, but we're also trying to make things simple for our consumers, our customers, our contractors, so that they can make money and make it easy for them. Like I said, we only sell the top selling colors. And so Making it easy for your customer is huge. And my previous companies I worked for, it was the same thing. It was just making things simple for the customer, so it makes it easy for them to make a decision so that they can move on, because time's money.
Yeah.
Of course, staying positive means reading and listening to podcasts, and I would rather listen to Crime Junkie or something like that, but I have to force myself to listen to inspirational podcasts, business podcasts, and take the time to increase my knowledge while we are in this pandemic. So that's another big thing, is just staying positive and staying on top of, you're growing your knowledge, growing your business knowledge while we are in this time.
I think it's easy for business owners, especially if you don't have a lot of clients coming through the door, or because they're slowing down and things like that, to get lethargic and to get and not necessarily morose and not positive, but they're positively going to sit on the couch instead, right? And so
Right.
I think we can stay positive and happy. And I think what you kind of said there, using the word persistent, is even though we're in this time, and Philip and I have talked about this before as well, we still have to do the same things we were doing in business before. We just need to shift how we do those things. So we're still going out and prospecting. We're still going out and selling and things like that, but we're doing it through Zoom or through other mediums, having to make those phone calls, and instead of stopping by someone's office and shaking their hand and looking them in the eye, we have to do these other digital things, which hopefully, I guess May 1st, this Friday, things are going to start to kind of open back up here in Texas.
Yeah.
But we still got a long road ahead. So I think, just doing the same things we were doing and kind of shifting how we do those things. That's basically what you're talking about right there. Staying positive, staying persistent, and keep it up. And then you kind of said, you'd rather be, listening to these other novels or reading these other novels and stuff, but you're using that time to grow and to build yourself and build your business acumen, right?
Yes, and networking has been huge right now. I know you guys are involved in that. I probably do at least 2 Zoom calls a day, mostly because it's so hard right now, and it is hard to stay positive, that when you're talking to these other entrepreneurs and that they're going through the same thing, and their positivity, you just feed off of each other. So making sure that you're staying in relationship, because as humans, we were built to be in relationship. And so it's really important to make sure that you're still communicating with the world. You can't just go and sit on the couch and watch Netflix, which is another thing that I love to do. But you do have to be able to interact with other people. And another thing that you said, Cory, and I should have said this earlier, I actually, when this whole COVID thing started, I got really sick. And I was sick for about 2 weeks, and I may or may not have had COVID. They didn't test me, but I did have to transition completely because I wasn't in the office, but I was still making sales through text messages, through, Facebook, and staying on top of those customers and reaching out and realizing, hey, I can't get them to come in the building right now because I'm not there. But when they come to the door, Hector, my operations manager, knows Brett sent me this customer. This is exactly what they need. This is exactly how much it's going to cost. And that customer is taken care of. And even though it had to be done, through text message and not in person, when they came in to pick up their carpet, Hector took care of them and knew everything that they needed and exactly what they wanted. So you do have to be able to shift. Even if there's not a pandemic, you could get sick and you still have to run a business because you're an entrepreneur. So that's the other thing. You have to be able to still work regardless of the situation.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really important takeaway from this is a lot of the things we've learned during COVID-19 can be used in other situations, like if a key person gets sick or something like of that nature. It's a really interesting thought.
Yeah, I talk to businesses all the time, and they, there's different types of liabilities. If you've got one big client that's 95% of your income and they leave, that's a liability, right? Same happens with an employee. You've got that key employee. You could be the business owner and you think you're running everything, but if your assistant or if somebody else in the business, let's say Brett, you get sick, guess what? Things shut down. Things don't get done unless you were there to back that person up, and everybody can kind of do those jobs. So, having that knowledge and having, this pandemic or tornadoes or whatever, providing the opportunity for us to observe those liabilities and to mitigate the risk in the future, right? Those things are super vital, especially right now, to pay attention to. And again, kind of instead of sitting on the couch when you get home or whatever, you're exhausted from working all day, you still got to work on the business as an entrepreneur and as a business owner.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think it also, like, that type of thing you're talking about with your operations managers being a step in, like, says a lot about the people in your business and how they can rise to a challenge and just say, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I got this. Let's do it.
Yeah,
and having that positive mentality where I know a lot of people will just be like, oh man, I have no idea what I'm doing. What are you talking about? Sales? Like, I install flooring, man. Like, it's really cool to see people that are like, see a challenge and are just like, awesome, let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, it's just hard. And as soon as you realize, hey, it's going to be hard and you just got to push through it. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth having, right? So this time's hard, but we all just have to push through, and we have to, work with what we have. And once this passes, hopefully everything goes back to normal and we'll all be fine. But like Cory said, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Even though Texas is reopening on May 1st, people aren't going to be running out of their houses to
you're not going to have people jumping on airplanes. They're not going to be going on vacation again. They're not going to be having giant conventions yet. They're not. So a lot of normality to our lives that we probably won't see yet. And like I know, a lot of cities. Since I'm sure you do a lot of commercial stuff, I know that a lot of cities' tax revenues have been hit with, like, hotel taxes and stuff like that haven't been in there. And so I know Lubbock, for instance, is building an expo center, and they do that with the hotel revenue, and they're kind of like, ooh. Well, we just hit this massive hit. What's going to happen? And that affects everybody down the line as well. So,
yeah, it's just scary right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's it really is interesting because everybody took a tactical pause, and took a step back and said, "Hey, what are we doing with our money this year?" Because they're not bringing in money right now. So how are they going to spend and project what they want to spend on your business later down the line, right? So in the fall, they might be starting to freshen up to the idea of starting to pay out things a little bit more frequently and buy things and buy services. But how do they predict things right now? Everybody's still on edge. Everybody's still wondering what's going to happen. Are we going to reopen things and then we're going to have a spike in cases and then we're going to have to close it back down? We still don't know if that's the case. If things are just nobody's going to have it in July at all, period, 0 cases, probably not, right? So we're probably still going to have some of that scare. And then now, again, like what I was talking about is, now's the time to prepare for the next COVID, 2027, right?
Yes.
So when is the next coronavirus, SARS thing, epidemic, pandemic going to happen? We don't know. But the fact is that it was so severe that the government shut us down. So we can't control that. What we can control is how our business reacts next time the government wants to shut our business down. So having that risk mitigation is super vital right now. And now, again, your clients aren't coming through the door as much. You're an essential business, right? So you still do have things happening. I know I moved recently. I had to move into this house, and so things happened. It was essential. But what are we doing to really mitigate that risk for next time?
Yeah, and I mean it could be something small, right? Like just saying, "Oh, hey, well, I've got this guy. He's not doing anything. Your operations manager's not doing anything. Hey, come over here. Let me show you how I sell to this customer. Let me show you how. It may maybe just little things like that you can do throughout there. Just kind of cross train employees, let everybody know kind of bigger pictures. Help them be better employees as well. But yeah, I think there's a bunch of little things that a lot of businesses are going to think about here after COVID-19 that are like, hey, you know what? If my head of my accounting's gone, how much knowledge are they taking with them? Can the people that are just doing bookkeeping do handle this? A lot of questions and a lot of cross training that can go on, and also I think a lot of businesses have figured out that they can do a lot remotely without everybody being at the office, and that's another question.
Yeah, I think that's big.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of which, I had one question that I totally forgot. A real quick question. If somebody wants to take a look at all the stuff you have available, can they do that online?
Yes, so all of our products are listed online. It's just conceptosdemoda.com.
Spell that, because my gosh, I
yeah, so interesting name.
Cory, can you throw it in the chat? Because I would not be able to.
Description, but I can throw it in chat for us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it is conceptosdemoda.com. You just click on products. And then we also have another section that has the product specification. So everything about the product is listed on there. The only thing that is not listed on the website is our pricing, which you can email info@conceptosdemoda.com, which is easily, something you can click on the website. And I can send you over the price sheet, always transparent. We just updated some of our pricing. So we were able to get a really good deal on a couple of carpets during this time. So not just, trying to figure out how to pivot, but also working with our manufacturers. How can we extend better offers to our customers? And we were able to work on that during this time as well. So we do have a updated price sheet that I will be sending out to our customers this week. So that's pretty exciting. But again, it's not listed online. So if someone wanted the pricing, they can just send me an email and I will send it right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good segue to saying where can people find you? Obviously, we just listed the website. Where else? If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how else can they do it?
Yeah, so the website's going to be the best place. info@conceptosdemoda.com, and then my personal email address is brettw@conceptosdemoda.com. We have a Facebook page, and we also have an Instagram and LinkedIn page that we're constantly updating. So there's always information, and it shows our products on there as well. So if anyone's trying to, and then the biggest thing that, is up next for us is that we're going to be listed on that Lifestyles Unlimited page as a vendor. And that'll have additional information about us as well.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. I think just having that community around you and I didn't compliment you earlier, but building those communities around the home builders associations and then master networks as well. I mean, it is a good insulator to make sure that you are top of mind for your clients and for those people that are gonna buy your product or even recommend you as well. So,
right. Well, we're hoping it's working.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, so, one of the things we ask our podcast guests is like, what are you reading right now? What are some books that you've read in the past that you think all business owners should read? Or, podcasts and other content, things that you think that business owners should consume?
Right now I'm reading 5+1 by Chaz Wilson, which is another Master Networks thing. I am on the targeting section of that, which has been pretty interesting, kind of rereading that section over and over again right now. My favorite podcast to listen to is Brendon Burchard, The Brendon Show. And I also enjoy his book, Highly Effective Habits. It's a pretty big book. I also use his planner that he puts together, which is you plan out your entire week and you're very intentional about everything that you do. So I enjoyed his book. The 5+1 book has been great. Brendon's podcast is great. And then I also like to listen to Trent Shelton Straight Up. That's probably not for everybody. It's very straight up. It's like having a football coach, but that's what I need sometimes. And then, of course, I love Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis. And so the next book on my list is going to be Get Out of Your Own Way by Dave Hollis. And I've read all of Rachel Hollis's books, and I also do her gratitude journal as well every single morning. So being really intentional about how you start your day is super important as an entrepreneur as well. So making sure you're moving your body, drinking your water, all that good stuff. I have to be constantly reminded to do, because I would rather be on the couch watching a true crime documentary. So
there you go. Yeah, I think it's important to have some type of planning and things like that. I don't know about that planner. I've looked for some good planners, and I was thinking about just making my own. Is that something you would recommend highly? Have you looked at a lot of planners, and that just the one you picked?
That one, I just really enjoy. It has, you plan your entire week on Sunday. You kind of do a check-in with yourself. So you rate how you felt that your week went. How was your clarity? How are your leadership skills for the week? How did you do certain things? So you grade yourself on that, and then you plan your week. So, what meetings do you have this week? What are you going to do for yourself? What are you going to do for a loved one? And then each day it's a planner, and it has it, hourly, and it also has a list of questions. So you go through, who do I need to be a leader for today? If I was my own, life coach, what would I say to myself? And, I'm constantly writing persistence. You have to be persistent. And then I would feel successful if I said that I completed this today, is the last question. And then it has a list of, 3 things that need to be done, that are my goals. And then there's 3 things that must be done today. So like, hey, I've got to go to the bank today. I have that written down. And then at the end of the day, you write down, how did the day go? What could you have done that was better? A lot of times I get super stressed out and I just need to calm down. I kind of went through and read my journal to my son, and he was like, wow, Mom, you really love me, because I wrote a lot about him. And it does say like, hey, like, what are you going to do special and intentional for someone in your life? So like, hey, I'm going to buy someone coffee today, or I'll send my sister, a Starbucks gift card because she doesn't live here. And she's like, how did you even think of that? And it's like, oh, well, it's in my planner that I should just, make someone feel special. And doesn't necessarily mean you have to buy them something, but maybe sending them a note. Hey, thanks for everything you do for me. So it just makes you be really intentional. So I really like it. And I feel like I was living under a rock because I didn't have it. So I definitely suggest it. I thought that everyone knew about it, and I was just behind on the times.
Oh yeah, I've been looking at things for a while and trying to figure out something. I'm usually pretty good at planning my week out and things like that, but those additional questions sound really cool. I'll look into that. For sure.
So what was that? Is that a book you were reading? Is that a book?
So it's by Brendon Burchard. He has a book called Highly Effective Habits. I think that's what it's called. I feel terrible that I don't know. But it's the Highly Effective Planner. Highly Efficient Planner is what it's called. And it's for each quarter as well. So it's not like a yearly planner. So you have it for each quarter, and then after, the quarter's over, you can go back and look at your planner and see how far you've come. But being intentional about your day, especially right now, is so important. We would all love to be lazy, but we have to keep pushing through this.
Yeah, I'm going to check out that planner. That sounds really neat. I'm glad you told us about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brett, for joining us today. The next guest that we have up is going to be Joe and Melanie Mogazel from Dallas, Texas, or DFW area. They have Always Good sales training. They are going to teach us a little bit about their business and how they're intentional about doing things as well. And then after that, we've got next week on Tuesday at noon, got All Flowered Up 2. Jeff Gillespie is going to tell us about their flower business and how they have become one of the biggest flower businesses, if not the biggest flower business in the Lubbock area. And then on Thursday next week, we've got some great guys, Jacob and Ross Hamill from the Hamill Brothers Studios, going to tell us a little bit about their video production company. I've been Cory Myers with Lubbock Consulting. I do all things consulting, and we really help businesses focus on operational excellence.
And I'm Robb with Robb Technology Group. We are a IT department for your small business.
Guys, thank you for joining the Phil and Cory Show. Brett, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you again, Brett.